Taylor, well done. You practiced a lot with Holger. What do you think was the key in your victory today?
Yeah, we practiced a couple times, but I never, I guess, like analyzed his game much when we were practicing. So I didn't take too much of it into the match. I felt like the key was just playing solid on my serve, holding serve. I did a good job of that, and then I was able to just steal a couple breaks. I thought I returned to serve well. Yeah, I don't know, nothing like I guess really special I had. It was like a key to the match really.
David Gomez from W Radio. Taylor, how do you feel with this match in regards to what you have to come right now for the next challenge? Who do you think you're going to face?
I mean, I don't know. I'm very excited to watch that match. I usually don't watch much tennis, but I'm excited to see that. But I do feel like I'm gonna have to raise the level even more. I'm happy with how I served today and how I was holding my serve, but I think there's going to be a lot longer points, and it's going to be much more physical, regardless of who I play between Carlos and Tommy. I think both of them, it'll be a much more physical match.
Taylor, Nelson Perez, Hispanic Source Media. Were you expecting like a longer rallies today? Were you expecting something more physical, maybe a longer game in general, and maybe caught you by surprise how maybe just easily you got it done today?
Yeah, I think you try to mentally prepare yourself every match for a battle, because then if you're not and you find yourself in one, it's not as easy to play. So I was definitely expecting a physical, tough match, and yeah, I think the court's very fast, and he hadn't played the center court's faster than the other courts, and I think that he hadn't played a match on center court, and maybe he was just making a few more errors than normal, probably just because of the speed of the court, and I was able to capitalize on some free points and get some breaks, and then kind of just like serve well, and when I'm serving well and serve +1 is working, then I don't end up having to play too many physical long points.
Taylor, Kate Delaney, GCN Radio Network. Talk about the conditions on the court with the shadows, then the sun. I mean, everyone has to deal with it, but what was it like for you?
Yeah, the shadows are pretty annoying. I'm not a big fan of it. That's the first thing that I was like annoyed about when I found out I was playing first on, because I've been playing second on every day, and I've been watching the first on matches before me and seeing that shadow cut through the court, and I'm just like, oh jeez, I don't want to have to deal with that. But it wasn't, I guess, the worst thing. There was one game in particular where the sun was in a really bad spot on my serve. I couldn't see the ball at all. I couldn't even barely toss the ball in a weird spot to not have the sun like completely block it. But it's, like you said, it's the same for everybody. So he was dealing with the same thing, and we were both just trying to handle it.
Nick Garrido from Fox here in Miami. Taylor, you talked a little bit about in your on-court interview about that you spent some time here in Miami. Just when did you kind of start spending some more time down here in Miami, and do you feel like it helps you kind of with the conditions when you come and play the tournament down here?
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. Like with how the tennis schedule works, I don't really spend more than like a month at home anyways, whether it be here or LA. So it's not like I've had a ton of time to train in LA, train here, but I've always liked being here. I got the place. I started renting an apartment like 2 years ago here, and then I really liked it. So just recently I bought a place close to my apartment, and I'm moved in, and yeah, it's really nice to come back here, especially with those like Europe trips. It's much easier to be here than that extra flight, 5 hours back to LA, and then you gain those extra 5 hours again when you're going back to Europe. So it's very convenient for a lot of the times of the year with the ATP schedule.
David Gomez again from W Radio. In regards to your service, you mentioned that that was a big strength today in your match. How do you feel your strengths are, and what other strengths are you going to bring to your next game?
I mean, as the serve is always the most important thing. Like if I'm not serving well, then I'm getting broken. I'm under a lot of pressure on my serve. It's tough serving well. Also, it just frees up the rest of my game because I feel like it's okay if I take chances, miss shots, go for a little bit more because I know I'm going to be getting free points on my serve. So that's always the most important thing. And I'm really happy. I still think that the serve can be even better, but I felt in Acapulco and Indian Wells I wasn't serving well at all. So it feels much better to have that this week. Other strengths I have is just like I think my backhand's really good. It's really solid. I can trust it. I'm not gonna miss it. And then when I get the right ball, I think my forehand is very strong. Is a big weapon when I have some time on it.
Andrew, I can host with the ATP. You were mentioning the other day about how even though maybe you haven't played your absolute best, you've still had pretty good results and how nice that was. Now you're sixth in the race. Like, how exciting is it for you that maybe you're playing, I don't know, your average tennis, whatever you want to call it, and you are like one of the best players in the world this year?
Yeah, it's great that just my average, my level has gone up a lot. I'm able to perform at a level that I think is very like replicable. English right now, tough. Replicatable, is that the word? Whatever. But I'm playing at a level that I feel like I can do over and over again, and it's nice that level can put me in the top 10. I felt like last year I was very like boom or bust, like either playing really good on a week and I could just go win the tournament, or I would just lose in the first or second round. So it is nice to feel more consistent, but also the way the tour, the points, everything works, it does kind of reward that boom or bust style a bit more. It's more beneficial for rankings and stuff to be winning tournaments than like being very consistent every week, like making like quarters, semis stuff. So hopefully I can take it, a couple steps further than quarterfinals and have some of those really big results like I did last year. But it's nice to definitely just be more consistent in general.
Taylor, just to talk about your possible next two opponents. Obviously, Carlos you haven't faced, but he's world number one, and we all know 19 years old and the way he's playing. And also, Tommy, you just had a massive battle in Acapulco. You guys had a great relationship. Just talk about potentially these two opponents that you'll face in the next round and how tough it would be.
Yeah, if it's Carlos, I'm really excited for it. I think that a lot of people are really excited for that too. We've never played each other, and I think it's an interesting matchup. And I don't know. I think it'd be a lot of fun to play him. Obviously, he's playing great lately, and he had some injuries, but obviously hasn't missed a beat. He's been just on fire. But and then Tommy, he's been playing really good all year, kind of doing what I feel like I always felt like he would do, and playing to the level that I felt like he's always had. Either one of them, it's going to be very physical because they're both extremely fast and make me always play extra shots, play a lot of ball. Probably two of the fastest guys on tour. So either way, it's going to be physical. So I have to be ready for that.